Welcome back to the GSTL. Tails takes the lead for MVP. Really cool, greedy DT drop that we saw from him, but in Heart of the Storm, sometimes you can get away with these risks.
Not only a greedy DT drop, this guy went into a one-gate expand after he went for double gas, started with his Mothership core, didn't get any additional gateways and just teched it up hardcore. Scarlet looking to the camera, looking to the left, then double checking if she's still on air, and she's like, maybe not.
Yeah. Now gone, though, off camera, and it is Tails we focus on. He's up against Heart here, and Heart, like I said before, he's unpredictable. You don't know exactly what you're going to see from him.
It was actually quite fun to see Scarlet in the makeup room earlier. The makeup lady has enjoyed having a girl there. Usually, I mean, sometimes we have Eve, sometimes we have Aphrodite, but usually there are not too many girls here at the GSTL, so they could go wild. Yeah,
usually you have only the interviewer girl, if she's around for that season, or Ihyunju, who also becomes then the interviewer girl oftentimes. But Akalon Waste is the map of choice for Heart, which is a map that, you know, there's not too much to be said about balance here. It's a very easy third usually for both players, so generally speaking, it's about who gets ahead earlier and takes that faster third and gets away with it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I want to know, for me, it's always, every single time I see Tails play, I'm very curious about his openings, because I always feel we could see something new. He showed us a nice strategy in his first game. Does he have another strategy for this map in particular? We're finding out now. Here at the GSTL Season 1 2013 MVP versus Axiom-Acer, brought to you by Cullen Wolf. Our Protoss for Team MVP, he starts at the top left, he starts in red. One win under his belt already today. Yes.
MVP Tails.
MVP Tails here at the studio in Mukdong. It's the first, Mukdong, in Gangnam.
Yep.
Not the old studio, first time that we see him here. Same is true for his opponent to the bottom right. Starting in blue, starting for Axiom-Acer. It is
Axiom Heart.
Heart. Doesn't have a lot of soul, but a lot of heart.
A lot of heart indeed. This map reminds me a lot of Entombed Valley, by the way.
We had a really nice cheerful on the Korean stream. Can you feel the heartbeat? And he actually makes the motion with his hand as well. It's a little bit sad that we didn't catch that on the international stream.
Yeah, you know, sometimes all the switching that needs to be done to get these things to be on the right streams can be missed because it's so sudden. You got to catch that heartbeat at the right moment.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see particularly how Heart is going to do, because not only have we not seen him in Heart of the Storm really, but we haven't seen too much of him towards the end of Wings of Liberty either. So how long has he been playing the beta? How long has he been kind of incubating his skill?
Talking about people that we haven't seen in a while, actually Sela is now at the studio too, and he has his hair really long and a little bit wild, and was like, what happened to you? And he's like, I've been to the jungle, I'm going wild now. It was really fun. He looked very different from when I last time saw him in a suit for Slayers with his hair trimmed and everything, so that was quite funny.
He's got what can only be described really as like a mane at this point. He's like the Lion Man. Look at this SCV scout. He doesn't actually go forward. He may actually proxy something with it. He checks the watchtower first, and maybe checks the Nexus. Looks like, yeah, he's going to proxy something here. I think this is a great choice. This is a Heart style, man. Yeah. This is how he does it.
He's shown us in Wings of Liberty at the end that he's a player that is very strong if he goes in a late game, but he still has the option of going for proxy play, and you can really surprise an opponent. And this is what he wants to do. He wants to be the one that is a little bit sneaky. He doesn't want to leave that up to Tails.
And I think what we're going to see is Widow Mines. So here's the factory going down. He also sends a second SCV scout, and this is going to be the first glimpse of what Tails is doing. He doesn't have any idea otherwise.
The factory has been proxied. The SCV is in the main base. Has a quick glimpse here. Sees the double gas, sees the mining, Mothership core is coming again. And it looks like Tails is actually going to go for the same build order that he used earlier against Ryung.
Yeah. This time with only 5 probes and gas in total, interestingly enough. Nexus is spotted as well. He wants to use these Widow Mines on the ground aggressively. He could do a follow-up with a drop if he wants to. But what he wants to do overall is to get into that middle line and also occupy the gateway. He knows that the robotics is very late. It started now. But he's not going to have the Observer out in time to deal with the initial Widow Mines. He's also going to bring some Marines with this to support it.
It's very dangerous indeed. There's one thing that he really lacked in the last game was detection. And he had the robotics, this is what he tried to go for, but he immediately started with the Warp Prism. He didn't bother with an Observer here. So this could definitely backfire. He might be punished for this, but it's all about the timings. It's all about how well Hart actually uses his units here.
The only thing he's going to have to defend, really, his Nexus, is going to be his Mothership Core. He only has one gateway, and he's not even using it right now. He is starting his first Stalker. That's it. That's all he's got. Nothing else.
Going for the Stalker. Here come the first probes down with the Eco Slide to the natural. But the Widow Mines, they are on their way and the Stalker isn't there yet. Here come the Marines. He needs to use the Photon Overcharge. He needs to use the Nexus Cannon.
Yeah, and he will use it. Waits till the last second. Will burrow this Widow Mine though. No detection available at this moment in time.
Oh my god!
11 probe kills. And consider, guys, he's making a Warp Prism right now. He's not making an Observer. He is not going to have detection. He can't cancel his Warp Prism because if he does that, it messes up his build.
The Dark Shrine is on its way, but 11 killed, and he lures the Stalker into the range of the Widow Mine. Just barely escapes.
But he's occupying the second Nexus, which means he can't use his double probe production.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a lot of probes. The Widow Mine is going to take down the probe on gas.
Yep.
And of course, by now, Hart also knows what's going on here, which means that he will be ready in his main base to welcome those DTs, to embrace them, and take them on.
I'm actually a little bit surprised he does not have an eBay, but he is saving scans.
Yeah, and that's important. Saving the scans is crucial.
He has to be so careful with the Stalker Micro here, because there are two Widow Mines. Oh, beautifully done.
That was so intelligent. He sees that the Stalker attacks the Widow Mine, immediately knows, well, there is an Observer. He scans, the Observer gets taken out. That is going so well for Hart. You can really see he watched the last game, and he's thought about it, and he was like, if you do the same build again, I'm going to punish you.
Yeah, this is... I mean, it's not always worth it to use that scan, but in this case, it absolutely is. And the DT here, all he has to do is run his SCV away from the natural. He has double orbitals. He's got the wall. He's making a turret.
Yeah, the Warp Prism is still there, though. This is the dangerous part. Trying to use the Widow Mine here, but that's a little bit too late. Gets taken out. He needs to make sure that the Warp Prism can't warp in another DT in the main base.
Yeah, I feel this is not going to work out for Tails anymore. He's a bit too late. All of his build got messed up.
It looks dangerous. It's very dangerous for him at this point, and it's very all-in. He's trying to warp in another DT in the main base, and he succeeded. But the first one is about to be taken out, moves back in time. The one in the main base, will he survive, though?
Oh, I missed target here. If he had been fighting those Marines, I think he might have been able to get out alive.
Yeah, well, 1DT is still going strong. And he cleaned those Widow Mines to the top left.
Yeah, he has cleared those, and with the tech he has, he's in a pretty cool spot overall when you consider that he's done some damage here, but I think Hart's still with a pretty decent lead at this point. These DTs are a huge investment, and he's not really getting anything out of them now. He will kill a few Marines. This is something that Hart is extremely careful for. He loses 2 Marines.
You know, the huge deal were those 11 probes that were taken down. A little bit overzealous here with the Dark Templar. But yeah, the 11 probes that have been killed with 1 Widow Mine shot, this changed the course of the game entirely.
And Hart, actually, with a late repair on his command center, finds itself burning. He's losing so much mining time here. He's going to lose even more SCVs. He lost the turret as well, it looks like. He didn't have one at the natural, so he forced a sim even.
The Dark Templars did a lot more damage than I thought they would.
Yeah, the natural, we were focusing on the main base most because of the Warp Prism, but the natural took a ton of damage.
Yeah, the surprising for me is that he did not really know what was going on. The reaction to it was very late. So Hart right now is still ahead in this game. I mean, don't get that wrong. Oh, he's even trying to take down the Warp Prism, and yes, he succeeds. Takes down the Dark Templar, takes down the Warp Prism, and of course, Hart is still very much ahead in this game.
Yeah, I feel he can't relax just yet, though. He's used a lot of stims. He doesn't have much medevacs out yet, and he will have to deal with this Colossus push. But if he can hold that, I think he'll have the game in his hands.
You are certainly right. It's not like he has won this game or anything. He used a lot of scans that he sacrificed where he didn't get the mules. But with the mules that he has and the same harvester count as his opponent, he's still looking strong here. As a Protoss, you always want to be ahead in the harvesters because of your chrono boost and because the Terran player has to just get his orbital out. His upgrade doesn't allow him to build SCVs at the same time. So definitely a lead for Hart. But it could have been, better for him.
Yeah,
he lost. Tails was able to do quite a bit with those.
It was incredible what he was able to pull off. Really,
I was surprised. I didn't expect him to do this well with them.
This could be though game-ending if he gets that Widow Mine burrowed and he unburrows it first. We'll get a. Well, actually, it's dodged by the assimilator.
Yeah, this is one of those things when you would try to actually change the target with
He
the
should
Widow
have,
Mine.
yeah. And I guess he was too busy microing elsewhere.
It's still something that a lot of players don't know, that you can target with your Widow Mine. Once you select the target, once something is in range, you can change it. So he could have done that here, he didn't. Now he's waiting for this drop to be used once again, but the Observer is now getting in position, so he knows that this is still a threat.
Yeah, all he has to do is rally his Colossus over there now and force this out or clean it up. And it's actually now about Heart's reaction. Like, Tails sees this, but he's like, well, if I run over there, he'll just lift out.
And Tails just stuck to the build that he was trying to execute. Even the transition into Colossi started before he's added additional gateways.
I'm actually a little bit surprised he's not going to clean up that drop yet. Like, it's just there now. He finally does it. Widowmine is not selected when he control-click those Marines, and the Widowmine goes down.
Another attempted attack at the natural this time. He could do quite a lot here.
Yeah, you certainly could. I mean, the Colossus is ready, but
Colossus stands on one leg on that cliff. That is a good balance.
Overcharge. There he goes. Yeah, the Colossus has quite good balance.
This Colossus could be a dancer.
Well, it's certainly not imbalanced when it comes to how it stands on that cliff.
That was a very balanced Colossus.
Yes, absolutely. No one would ever dispute that. He's got all these extra gates coming up, which is going to allow him to try to hit that timing with his Colossi.
Colossus is like, look, mommy, what I can do.
I worry that Tails is giving Heart too much room to work with these drops, because he needs to hit this timing really, really well with his Colossi, and he can't be losing this like this. Oh my god.
He's going to lose not only one, he might actually lose both of his Colossi, but Heart decides to back off for now. But it's very dangerous, you're certainly right about it. This is just a multi-pronged attack where Heart always tries to find an opening, and the issue is that there are not too many units for Tails just yet, so he can't split an army and defend both bases at once if he doesn't have the Nexus cannon ready.
Right, it's really crucial for him to, for example, not do this. That was, must have been a misclick.
Yeah, the Mothership Core was definitely a bit out of position. Nice lead in supply here for Heart, but he has still to be a bit careful how he approaches this. The issue is he has a drop in the main base to the top left. He has the better economy, so he can just build units at the bottom and wait for this attack. But here we go again, moving in.
Great micro here by Tails, pulling those Stalkers back. And we'll actually chase this away.
This speed is just incredible. It saves the drop, it saves the Marines and the medevac.
This is way too overzealous, I think, with these Colossi. There's so many Marauders, he needs to have those Stalkers up there with him. What is he doing? No, he can't attack like this. Not with the Stalkers behind. He's losing way too many shields on those Colossi. They're entirely wasted here. Only like 3 attacks go off, and he's going to lose that Colossus.
He's going to lose the Colossus. Here come the SCVs as well. Heart is pulling everything here. Most of the sentries are already gone. There are no force fields at this point in time. The next Colossus, the second one, is going down.
This attack was poorly done, and it was the only thing Tails could rely on, and now he is a 50 supply behind. He may lose every last one of these Zealots if there's another stim.
Concussive Shell is ready to slow them down. The drop, well, he tries, but the dropship didn't have enough hit points to make this work. Not even against one single.
Yeah. At this point, though, it's a drop in the bucket, considering how ahead Heart is and how much better his army is going forward here. Tails is adding 2 Forges.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to help.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work at all. Not with the 50 supply lead for Heart, and he's trying to work on it. He's moving in. There are only Stalkers. Stalkers against Marauders. I don't have to say more.
Yeah, the sentries are too late. Fuels get dropped, and I think Heart is going to tie the series up 2-2. Colossus being targeted as well.
Yeah, he forces the Colossus back. The rest of the army is already down. The SCVs, well, the probes, they are being killed, and this is it.
GG. 2-2 score, tying things up here at the GSTL. Heart was a great choice, and he executed his build very well. That first initial probe hit, though, there's some things to say about chance with Widow Mines, but that was really a mistake, actually, of where the probes were clustered, I think.
He didn't pull them back all to the left. He realized a little bit too late what was happening here, and losing 11 Harvesters at this point in the game gives your opponent a massive lead.
I mean, that's like half of his workers right there.
Exactly, it's half of the workers. It's an uphill battle at this time, and it was very, very difficult for Tails to pull it off. He was not able to do it, so now we have once again a tight situation in this team match. And MVP, they have to come up with another player to face this strong Terran.
Yeah, it's... I'm thinking about it, and I don't think you send another Protoss this time. I'm not 100% sure who I would pick. I might think Monster at this moment in time. But I honestly don't know what's going through the MVP coach's head right now. He's got so many players to choose from. That's one strength he really has here.
You can go for DRG, you can go for Sniper. There are so many players that you have on the lineup. A lot of strong Zerg players, of course, but you can also rely on a few of your Terran players in this situation. Noblesse is still out there. He's a player that we haven't seen yet, and he has proven in the end of Wings of Liberty that he is a force to be reckoned with. So this is he has all the players to choose from. It really depends on how did they prepare up front. How did they prepare a Sniper for a certain opponent?
Yeah, and are they having somebody ready for a good, strong Terran who has really strong builder openings? He really is the Tails of Terran. I mean, you saw how he uses the build on the map. He executes it well. He's been called cheesy, but actually what I call him is smart. I mean, the choices he makes, he already studies his opponent's builders. And he even had the ability to watch the previous game and look at it and study it, and it worked out really well what he chose here.
He developed quite a bit over the past few months, and he is looking strong here. So for Team MVP, they have not only to think about this player, but also about the next. They have so many strong Zerg plays, but do you really want to send 2 Zergs out back to back?
You've got everyone at this moment in time has to just realize that there's 2 players left for each. 2 lives left, and if you send somebody out, it's one of your 2 lives, and then is he going to be able to beat the other person that he's going to face as well? It's a tough choice that they're faced with right now, and I'm feeling like we're going to see a Zerg. That's my personal feel regarding this. I don't think they want to send another Terran out.
Given the strength of the roster, I would say send a Zerg out right now, and then you can see what happens, and then you can, in the end, still decide if you want to go for Noblesse, if you want to go for another of the Zerg players that they have, then you can still wiggle a little bit. But I think at this point in time, having a strong all-around Zerg player is probably what you might do. You have the map choice, you can use that to your advantage.
I think that we're probably going to see either Sniper or DRG and Noblesse as the last 2 players.
I would love that. You know, if they send, for example, one of the strong Zergs out, then they still have, in the end, the choice sending another Zerg, one of the strong ones out, Noblesse.
If it makes sense to, you know?
Exactly. You can then adjust a little bit to who the last player is for Axiom-Acer. Always, of course, given that we end up in a 3-3 and head into the last map.
And that's why this win is so important, because if they lose this one, then they no longer have that advantage to force a player out, and then you have to beat 2 people that you can't prepare for.
Okay, who did they pick? It's a massive lineup that they
Monster.
have.
AKA Noxo now, he changed his ID. So, it's going to be Monster coming in, and this is my initial thought. Like, I feel like sometimes when I watch the coaches pick players, since we've seen so many GSTL matches for MVP, even though Monster doesn't seem like the choice in my mind if I think about all the players and all the reasoning, Monster always comes out in Team League, and so he's the first one who came to my head.
I would have expected, I'm completely honest, either Sniper or DRG.
Same, but Monster is the choice here, and he has a lot of GSTL experience.
Oh, he has the experience, and he is strong. I just would judge the other 2 players a little bit stronger in general. But this is what we said. He could be one of those guys that prepared for a specific matchup to take down one of the Terran players. And if you think about how many Terrans are there on the Axiom-Acer bench, then this is something that had probably happened in in the recent days. The coach looked at the lineup and said, like, okay, we need one guy to just practice against Terran all day long, and this must have been Monster. So he's the one who's being sent out. Now, of course, with this new ID with Naxet.
Yeah, he's changed his ID here. It's not a word I'm familiar with. I saw somebody saying earlier it meant doodle. It's not something that I know. It's not, my Korean vocabulary doesn't go into doodles, but regardless, he's Noxa now. We're probably going to call him Monster quite a bit because that's just what's comfortable for us. This whole name change thing, it leaves a weird taste in my mouth.
To me, it's a little bit odd. I mean, you always think at some point in your gaming career to change your ID, but usually you do it like once and then you stick with it. And I felt that Monster was a very good name for him. He was the player that first made a huge splash when he forced MC down into Code B. And I feel that people know him under the name Monster, so it's going to be a little bit weird to adjust to the new ID, but we'll make it happen. We're jumping into the game now. We have a Zerg versus a Terran on DMZ here at the GSTL 2013 Season 1 of London.